take everyone through how to pick the best college. We have already gone through our poll questions. Do you know what you want to go to college for? And we had 57% say yes, they already know what college they're going to go to. And the rest of you said no. And then our second question, how do we pick? What comes first, college, major, or career? The reason this question is so important is because we hear from so many students who graduate high school, they go to college, and what happens is they get there and they realize they picked wrong. They either picked a career that they're not suited for or that they don't like, or sometimes what happens is they pick something and they think, well, it's not what I thought it was going to be, and they end up changing their major. When you change your major in college, it's a problem for a couple of reasons. Number one, it usually means you're going to be at the mercy of whether or not there's even room in a program for you to transfer to a different major. And it's going to delay your graduation. You might have to take courses that maybe you didn't take in your first couple of years. And you start amassing more student debt when you delay your graduation in college. So that's why this is a really important topic to kind of hone in on what you want to do and what you want to go to college for. Is there anything you'd like to add, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm actually really encouraged to see those poll results because many of you students already understand that it's not about the college, then the major, then the career, and understand that when I was young, that was how I did it. I sat down with my my advisor my senior year, and he said, "Where do you want to go to school?" And I said, "I didn't really know." And my dad had gone to a state school here in California, and we had one that was nearby, and that's what I ended up doing. And then when I got there, it was, "Well, what do you want to study?" And I bounced around from theater to communication and English and a couple of different things, and it took me a couple of years to figure that piece of it out. And then I got my degree, and then I went in search of a job and thought that I had found the job that I really wanted, and realized that that wasn't exactly the way I wanted to go. And so I had not spent enough time early in my career in high school and maybe even in middle school, because I hadn't really thought too much about it on what do I want to do with the rest of my life. And I think that's a very important point. We have goals about where we want to have our experience after high school, and those goals are super important. And there's nothing wrong with going to a college that maybe a parent went to, or that you've seen pictures of, or you visited, and it's been like, wow, this is this great fit. This is where I want to be. That's fantastic. But let's not lose sight of why we're going. We don't go to college just to go to college. We go to college to help prepare us for the step that follows college, and that is a career. And recognizing, sure, your career may change during your lifetime. For many of us, that it has. But that needs to be what motivates your decision making as you look at schools, and then as you look at majors. So focus on that career, at least what you think you want to do now, because you can change your mind. But I used to say when I was in the classroom teaching quite a lot, you can't change your mind until you make up your mind. So you can change your mind, but the career needs to be your focus. Then you can start looking at, okay, well, if I'm going to choose this career, what major do I need? And then once you know what major to focus on, you can take a look at those colleges that are on your short list. Okay, these are 3 or 4 colleges I really want to go to. How do I decide? Well, which school has the best department or the best program for the major that I want? Once you've taken a look at that, then you'll know, and that's where you should focus your attention.
So a lot of students say, but how do I know really what I want to do? The best way to figure that out is to really take a lot of what we call college and career assessments. Assessments will start to point you into a few different directions that you may not have considered. And so what is a college and career assessment? So basically, it assists students to learn about what they like and don't like to begin exploring careers. It's that simple. After exploring careers, then you can pick a major. So where are these assessments and how can we access them? Well, in Coachella Valley and across all 3 school districts, we have all subscribed to CCGI. So every single student in our valley has access to CCGI. In Desert Sands, it begins at 6th grade. At CV, it begins at 7th grade. And in Palm Springs, I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's middle school, but I'm not sure if their middle school starts at 6th grade or 7th grade. Okay, but all students do have an account. So when you sign up for your CCGI account, if you go to careers, This is where you're going to find all of these, and I can model for you. In CCGI, you have what's called the interest profiler, which is the first link that I've put up, and we'll go out there in a minute. And then you have a work value assessment, has a learning style and inventory management assessment, multiple intelligence, and a do what you are assessment. The combination of all of these assessments, oops, let me go back, sorry about that. The combination of all these assessments, after you take them, it will start putting careers into your career planner. It will actually save for you. And once you're in there, you can start exploring different careers and see what they're about. You can look at education levels that are needed. You can look at colleges that offer majors for these careers. There's a lot of different information. So really utilize CCGI. But I am going to go out here and I'm going to get into the first one. So just give me a quick second. This is the California Colleges CCGI website. And you'll see that when I pick down on career, I can come right in and I'm just going to go ahead and click it. And it gives me this interest profiler right here. Now, if I'm signed in, let me get signed in and I come in, that's when all of the different assessments come up. So you have your interest profiler, and what I'd like to tell you about that, you can take that one as many times as you would like. However, the rest of the assessments, I don't remember which ones are which. They usually limit you to 3 different times. So you don't want to start taking these and then taking them and taking them and taking them, because you will wear out your 3 different times you can take them. But the interest profiler, again, is the one that you can take several times. So I'm going to go ahead and go into that one. And you can go into each of these and it's going to tell you, well, what is it and what does it do? When you take these and then what it'll do, it will automatically save to your career goals and your journal. So when you're working with your counselor, you will have an opportunity to say, look, I took these assessments. This is what I've explored. And this is what I'd really like to pursue. Can you help me? That is one of the best ways you can start working with your counselor when you are serious to start thinking about the colleges that you want to pick, because they are there for you. One of the stories that I like to tell is that I had a student contact me. They were part of our architectural design program at Desert Mirage High School. So this student had already done like all of the career assessing, knew that they wanted to go to school to become an architectural engineer. And they chose Cal Poly because Cal Poly, Pomona, has one of the best programs for architectural and engineering design. However, an adult in this student's life decided that they should go to San Diego State. Well, why? Well, San Diego State's a great school. Well, why? Well, it's just got a better name, is what they said. Well, that's not always the best way to pick a college, because San Diego State might be a great school, but if it doesn't match up with your career goals and doesn't offer the program that you want, it's probably not going to be the best choice. So please do not ever pick a college based on a name. Pick it because you know they offer one of the top programs for what it is you want to pursue by career and major. Okay. Kevin, what would you like to add?
Well, I tell you what, I can add to that same approach goes on beyond just a 4-year degree. I have a son who has finished a master's degree and is now looking at a doctorate program, and he's only looking at doctoral programs that are specific to his area of study. And what's great about that is that once you achieve that level of education, if that's the path that you're on, those programs will pay you. So he won't end up spending any money on his doctoral program, and they're very expensive, because he will end up choosing a program that will pay him to go and study there. And that's another thing to look at. There are financial opportunities out there attached to your attendance at college, depending on how you do in high school and how you and the skill set that you bring into that experience. And those are good things to pursue as well.
Absolutely. So now on this interest profiler, this is just kind of a lower level assessment, and it'll start to match you to careers just based on what are your interests. I mean, that's why it's called the interest profiler. Okay. But some of these other assessments are a little trickier. There's work values. Work values is think about ethics and moral responsibility. And what are your work values? Do you want to work from home? Do you like working from a computer? Do you like hands-on work? So this is another really good assessment. The learning styles is everybody learns differently. I learn by doing. I also learn by reading. Audio is really difficult for me. It's hard for me to just hear somebody and understand what I'm supposed to do with the information. So I kind of need kind of both things going on, and that's just me specifically. So that could have an impact on maybe careers that you would be matched with. Multiple intelligence. This one right here, it's really going to kind of hone in on your proficiency. It's a little IQ-y, if you will. It's going to take into account more factors. And then when you come into the last one, the do what you are, this one's probably my favorite one. This one is going to describe what is your personality like? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? And do I like working with a lot of people, or do I like working alone? Do I like to lead, or do I like to follow? There's just a lot of different things in these assessments. But I think overall, the most important thing that you need to know about these assessments, oops, and let me get my PowerPoint back up. Where did it go? The problem with Zoom, when you're using multiple screens, I have 3 total screens right now, so I apologize. There it is. So let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Here we go. The most important thing to remember about all these assessments is you need to make sure that you are signed in with your student account for CCGI, because if you are not, none of this is going to save to your individual student portfolio, okay? If you do not have a student CCGI account yet, make an appointment with your counselor immediately to get access to CCGI. Every single student in our entire valley has access. Okay. And this is really going to be your friend. It's also going to help and allow your counselor to work more efficiently with you. Okay. To really honor your goals and what you want to do in high school. Okay. Anything else, Kevin, before I move on?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say my comments were for the next slide, and just to share with everybody, while we really appreciate CCGI as a tool, it's not the only tool out there that will provide for you an interest inventory or an opportunity to figure out who you are or what you should be doing. There are other tools. And so if you have a different interest profiler that you've done through a different service, that's just as valid as what we're providing here. The nice thing about CCGI is that it's everybody in the Valley has an account and can access that. So that's why we're choosing that one to share today. And you may have an idea yourself. I mean, you may know instinctively, hey, look, I don't need an interest profiler. I know what it is that I want to do, and I know what career I want to pursue. And so really what I need from my counselor is help on how I'm going to get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And because Kevin, you mentioned additional resources, and you know what we'll do is we'll put a link to this PowerPoint in the chat so you guys can grab it. And then you can access any of the links yourself when you want. These are just some things that I just found recently that were introduced actually by somebody in Desert Sands who retired last year. So these were just shared with me. This is another, it's called 16 Personalities, and it's going to spit back at you, what is your personality type? I turned out to be an extrovert, and it was like an ENJT, and they all stand for different things. But again, it tells you a lot about yourself and what types of careers that you should begin to look for. This one right here is just another form of assessment and things that you can look up and figure out, like what colleges are offering the programs that you're interested in. But this was by far my favorite. This is just another way that you can start working with your counselor. It's going to get you ready for applying to colleges with your name, your GPA, and it just starts to give you things to think about. So after you've gone through and you've identified your career choice, what major, and started to identify colleges, this is what's going to get you organized so that you can start applying to colleges. And when I saw this tool, I went, wow, it really gave, and it comes in both English and Spanish. but it really gives you a lot of great information to get yourself organized. And I would really encourage everyone to use this. And I'm going to start using it in my district. And again, I just found it yesterday. Okay. And then next, Kevin, you're up.
Yeah. So, and I want to just loop back to CCGI for a second, because one of the other services that it provides is when you search for colleges there, you can search by major. So once you've decided this is the major that I'm interested in, it will show you, it will give you a list of those colleges that have that major, and then it's up to you to do the research. Once you've got a clear idea of what you want to do, and remember, it's not like it's set in stone for the rest of your life. It's for now. It's what do I want to do for now? You can change later. When you go back to your high school, any of the high schools here in the Coachella Valley, there are programs there, career technical education programs there that can help you, and teachers that are teaching courses that are both academic and full of technical and professional skills as well. So I've asked my colleagues here in Desert Sands to join us and talk a little bit about each of their school sites and the programs that they offer there, and about how those programs can help you to further your career aspirations. And we'll start with Mr. Pimentel from Indio High.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Mr. Pimentel. I am an assistant principal at Indio High School. We have 5 pathways here at Indio High School. First one is the agricultural, which is really divided into ornamental, horticulture, which is a fancy way of saying floral, and then animal science. Horticulture also involves agriculture, and this is actually the #1 industry in our valley. It can lead to careers in ag science. There's a lot of people working in soil maintenance, crop rotation, and even genetic engineering with our seeds. And animal science, it leads into career mostly in veterinary science or farming. But really what the agricultural pathway produces, it's entrepreneurs and leaders, because they really have to think about making money with their products. That's the bottom line with it. Whether it's a floral arrangement or raising a pig in the farm, they have to think about making money. And so really that's the spirit that comes out of it. Most of the students actually don't end up in farms or in animal arrangement, animal husbandry. They end up being entrepreneurs and go into business. The Impact Academy, that's a digital media academy, which involves running essentially a TV studio. It also involves marketing. And actually, oddly enough, this is the field where most of our students actually make their money. Most people dream of being a YouTuber, making movies, a big Hollywood thing. Although we do have a high-ranking member in the Palm Springs Film Festival and a couple of YouTubers, the real opportunities for this are in making logos and branding a firm. I'll give you an example. Desert Sands Unified District just paid way over $10,000 for somebody to make a drawing of 3 circles to represent us. And it sounds simplistic and maybe even sarcastic, but really that's what we pay for. But there goes a lot of thought goes into making those drawings and the symbolism behind them, and to sell it. And so somebody who knows how to do that can really benefit from our Impact Academy. Then there's a network pathway, introduces students to how computers and electronics work, how to repair networks and troubleshoot devices, and then the basics of programming. I just had my printer repaired by one of these students. After technology told me to get a new one, they said, "Oh, it's gone forever, get rid of it." I just gave it to Mr. Brenner, our teacher, and he put one of the students, Alex, onto it, and he fixed it. The best part of this network pathway is that it's taught actually by a teacher that's certified by COD. So actually those students get 17 credits of college after being certified also in A+, which is a network recognized credential within the network world. And both of them can make you money and save you a lot of money. 17 credits of community college right now are running at about $3,000–4,000. Then we have the Health and Nutrition Academy. That's focused on well-being, particularly in nutritional and mental health. Most medical pathways in other schools focus on very technical medical skills, emergency room, doctors, things like that. We actually really focus on preventive medicine, careers in mental health, like psychologists, counselors, therapists, they're going to skyrocket in the future because it's an industry that's growing and gaining lots of traction, particularly in schools. So we're moving the way of every school needs to have a mental health counselor or a therapist. Chicago already did it. And then dealing with our policing issues right now, where mental health is being policed by the police, and now they're trying to kind of amend that to deal with it with mental health professionals. So there will be a lot of jobs within that area. And finally, our engineering academy, it's an introductory pathway to the idea of inventions and how to come up with a creative process. We create real products, test them, and then break them, and then test them again. I've seen one product work on the thing that the student wanted it to do originally. And that's not saying anything bad about our students. It's actually saying that 99% of all creation involves failure. And in order to succeed, you have to know how to fail before any breakthrough is achieved. And so it really helps students problem solve. So if you, and it also has an architectural design component. We work with CAD and other drawing software. So if you're thinking of a career in architecture, engineering, and really being an entrepreneur again, and being somebody who's going to try to introduce new products, this is the place for you. And I don't want to take too much more time. So that's it.
No, that was awesome, Rich. Thank you so much. Okay, next up, we have Michael Magnera from La Quinta High School. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Mike Magnera, Assistant Principal here at La Quinta High School, overseeing our 5 career technical education pathways. First, I wanted to talk about our Air Force Junior ROTC, led by Master Sergeant Murray and Lieutenant Colonel Taylor. It's really a focus on leadership and military science, but they do a lot of professional skills, life skills. I was in the class the other day, and they were teaching the students about financial literacy and credit and income based loan type products from the financial companies. So they're teaching them a range of leadership, military science, and also trying to prepare them for the real world. They're a distinguished unit. 4 years in a row, they've been recognized by the United States Air Force as a distinguished unit. And they do a great job mentoring our young men and women entering our Air Force ROTC program. We also have our information technology pathway, very similar to what Mr. Pimentel was talking about at Indio High School. We've kind of modeled it very similarly to Indio High School, and that we're moving towards becoming a dually enrolled program with College of the Desert as well, ultimately with the goal of getting students certificates in A+, Network+, and so forth. And again, as they enter COD, they will have a large portion of their credits out of the way, which would make up their prerequisites as they advance their career in information technology and computer networking. We also have a very popular Culinary Arts Institute. I would like to say that program is famous here in the Coachella Valley for our just all of our partnerships in the community. We work with a lot of the local cities here in the Coachella Valley, a lot of the major events, Taste of Tennis, Palm Desert Food and Wine. We just added the Date Harvest Festival last year. We're doing numerous catering events for our Riverside County Sheriff and Fire departments. We're partnering with restaurants all across the valley, especially for our big event called the Black Hawk Showdowns. Our students in our culinary arts program are getting a lot of exposure in our resort, hospitality, food, and beverage industries here in the Coachella Valley. 2 of our most popular programs are our California Partnership Academies. We have 2 of the Desert Sands 4 out of 4 California Partnership Academies, our Medical Health Academy and our Public Service Academy. Our Medical Health Academy has really great partnerships with all of our medical facilities here in the Coachella Valley. I would say that our California Partnership Academies are very good at giving students exposure to the real world through field learning experiences, job shadowing, internships. So our students in our Medical Health Academy, not only are they getting that project-based learning curriculum inside the classroom, where they get to do hands-on learning with career awareness throughout the medical industry, they're also getting these amazing learning experiences, visiting colleges, visiting hospital systems, partnering with College of the Desert and our local universities, and also our partnership with Eisenhower Medical Center here in the Coachella Valley. The same thing with our Public Service Academy. Great mentoring and leadership program. Students are getting amazing aspects of career awareness and all sorts of public service careers, whether education, medical, law enforcement, military, nonprofit. The list goes on and on for public service careers, government careers, and anything that students can think of, even entrepreneurship. They provide great mentoring, great field learning experiences, and also job shadowing and internships here in the Coachella Valley. And like Mr. Pimentel was saying, students, whether or not they go into the military, culinary, computer science, medical health, or public service, whether or not they continue on that pathway, I think one of the most important parts of all of our CTE programs here in Desert Sands is that our programs are leadership programs. So students are getting a lot of leadership training and real world experience in all of our programs. So no matter what pathway they choose, they're prepared for college and career readiness.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. I neglected to put on this list our military science programs, and thank you for bringing that up. So you already heard about the Air Force ROTC, Junior ROTC at La Quinta, but Indio, Palm Desert, Shadow also have Cadet Corps programs there, and they are outstanding programs. In fact, I think it's 2 years ago, the two commanding officers from Palm Desert were also the commanding officers for the state. So we invest heavily into those programs, and they produce great students and great results. Unfortunately, we couldn't have anybody from Palm Desert here with us today, so I'll just speak briefly about their programs. They last year opened up a brand new studio facility at Palm Desert for their film and broadcasting program that is state of the art. I've been around to see the different studios in the Valley, and certainly Indio High School studio is outstanding. But if you take Indio and you take Palm Desert and you compare it to our ABC and NBC affiliates, we are competitive. So it's a great place to go and to learn. They also have computer programming, specifically in terms of coding and making apps there at Palm Desert High School. Environmental engineering, somewhat similar to what goes on over at Indio, but it's just a little bit different, a little bit more of a bend towards renewables. And the Health Careers Academy. So there are health academies at all three of the high schools you've heard about with slightly different foci. For Palm Desert, it's about patient care for the most part. Great programs there and a Cadet Corps for you to explore. Okay, Dr. Kalkuski is here to talk to us a little bit about Shadow Hills. Dr. K.
Thank you, Mr. Bebo. And I'm going to just be brief as well, like Mr. Bebo was, but to echo the sentiments of the gentleman from Indio High School and La Quinta High School, we're very, very fortunate over here in North Indio at Shadow Hills High School to be able to offer CTE programs that are quite unique and that afford the possibility for students to think about a very big and broad and flyaway future. And so that's my lead in to aviation. We have an aviation academy at this school. And within that academy, Mr. Matthew Stanford, who is also our Cadet Corps Commandant, he presents an opportunity for students to get into the guts of computers. And those are the kind of computers that fly the planes along with the person. So the kids have an exposure to what it means to do A+ certifications and networking and how that would translate into the aviation industry. Likewise, he is himself finishing his pilot license. And he also, and I'm just singing his praises because he works very, very hard and he's only been with us for 2 years. He has accomplished his drone license. And so we're working on achieving drones for the students, and we have an aviation club. So it's very exciting over at Shadow Hills High School and lots of opportunity. And within that industry, we have partners who are some of our strongest partners. Right over at Bermuda Dunes Airport, we've had students placed in internships over there, and some of them have worked into positions at the airport. So we're very fortunate there. We have a computer programming, computer science pathway here at our school. 2 of the classes are AP. One is a computer science principles. So that affords the opportunity for both students AP and for COD and or college bound. There are certifications within there. And then our penultimate program in computer science is cyber technology, which of course we know is, along with all of our distance learning, everything going on, a very, very important field, and one which is extremely popular with the students. Mr. Orkney, who is our computer science teacher, also runs, and I'm very proud, I wish I had the trophy to show you, but the esports competition program, which was started last year with our Desert Sands, Dr. Marcus Wood, and the support of Mr. Gabriel Fajardo, our wonderful principal. And we have esports, which is, again, highly popular. It's actually drawn more students than even some of our sports programs. And it's very competitive. It's only continuing to grow. There are certain computer software and things that are necessary for that, but we get the support from the district, and we're really, really excited about the future of esports and what that means. And we're excited that Shadow Hills High School was at the forefront of that. So that's our computer science, and we have an education pathway, which we now know we will always need in our lifetime, and that is teachers. Whether they are behind the screens and Zooming with students and learning all of the software programs and all of the apps and everything to make necessary learning fun and engaging for students, they also are the craftspeople who build the relationships. And we have a program here at our school. We're taking a bit of a hiatus. We have a transference of one person, but we're finishing with the students in internship programs. We do placements around, we have a feeder school, Desert Ridge Academy. They're our feeder school. So we have some of the students who go over there and they work in the classrooms and support the teachers, and they observe what is hands-on as being a teacher. We also have students who go to Bermuda Dunes Learning Center. So they get the preschool, because of course we all know the number one thing everybody is an expert in the world is education, because we've all gone to school. So these students being in this pathway too are experts. They're meta experts, if nothing else. And they go over to Monroe Elementary School. So it's a really exciting program. Next year, we're going to have it up and running full steam. We had a little bit of a shift in our staffing there, but it's very exciting that we have the education program at Desert Sands. Okay, we have our emergency management, which is just taking off like crazy. We have 2 classes in our emergency management academy, which are College of the Desert classes, one of which is a fire class, and the other is an emergency management class co-taught with one of the professors from COD. And that is under the auspices of Mr. Omar Castro. He himself is a certified firefighter, and he networks in the community. He's going to be setting up internship for the students, and it's growing and blossoming. And as Mr. Pimentel said, the students leave that academy program with, it'll be upwards of 8 credits towards COD. And then once they do their internship, they can even grow that and double that for community service opportunities. So it's fantastic. And again, we're so grateful to Mr. Bebo for the support of allowing our vision in our emergency management academy to grow. Okay, so I'm going to finish this off with, I'm going to say the word again, Pentultimate. This is our oldest, longest standing, and not that the teacher is the oldest, but our academy, which is part of a California Partnership Academy, a CPA, and that is our Technology Landscape and Management Academy. And I thought I'd have screen sharing, but we don't have to get into that. I have all these pictures, but these are the students who not only get their hands dirty, so to speak, by going and understanding what it means. As Mr. Pimentel said, there's an agricultural piece, there's a focus on water and water management and what that means in our Coachella Valley. We have industry partners, and the students work in golf course industry so that they are partnered with some of our golf course managers, which, as we know, in the Coachella Valley is a huge, and it will be here forever. Even though we downsized a little bit on golf courses, it will be a long-standing piece of our culture here in the Valley. And we have students who go into internships and go into positions, and they work their way up. And these are the kids who get up and they're there at 4 in the morning, and they're getting the grooming of the landscape for the golfers that morning. And it's quite an extraordinary opportunity for the kids. And we have many, we're grateful to the partners that we have in our technology landscape and management. Within that too, there is a business piece. So the students are responsible for not only understanding the water and the needs and the agricultural and the building piece, but also how to market and how to sell, and what it means to grow and nurture and take to the marketplace. So what I'm talking about is we have plants that the students grow. We have them working with local partners, and we have sales. The students are also doing building so that they understand how to create irrigation systems. We have them building with woodworking. So they're craftspeople as well. So there's that kind of component, and it meets the needs of various students. And at the same time, there's quite a critical thinking piece where they're also doing design. And that is, it started with the hand back in the day when the academy started, just the hand drafting, and now it went to CAD, and now we're all the way into software with 3D. And it's quite an opportunity for growth. So can't say enough about all of it's my 3rd year at Shadow Hills High School, and in this position as college career readiness and our CTE assistant principal. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm just impressed by working with a team of expert educators in this field.
All right, that's awesome. Now, we have saved Amistad High School for last because Amistad High School hosts programs that Ms. Sharon Hoff is going to share with you in just a minute that are accessible to all students at all sites. We have a bus that takes students from their home school, from their high school site, to Amistad in the afternoon to participate in these courses. So, Ms. Hoff?
Thank you. And also in the morning, we have AM and PM classes, and especially for our automotive technology, and then the bus goes back. So you get back to your home school. So it's ironic, the smallest school, the small learning environment where all students get extra support, also welcomes the students from other high schools. I sometimes refer to us as the United Nations because we bring everybody to us. And it is amazing, the camaraderie that the students will tell me, oh, I didn't know anybody from Shadow Hills. Oh, I didn't know. And they really learn to work as a cohesive group. And I think that's where some of the leadership comes out, because they're working with completely different people. So I'm really proud of that. So we have automotive technology, and we also have heating and air conditioning, because people say HVAC, and some people are, what? Heating and air conditioning. And we have a preview of construction trades that will be coming will also be available to students. All 3 were in partnership with College of the Desert. And I have to kind of brag on the automotive technology teacher, because he was a master technician at Honda. And in 2 years, this is his 3rd year, and I visit his class often. He has become a master teacher. He is just amazing, even on Zoom, not having a hands-on in the auto. We call it the Eagle Garage. Same with Mr. Binky. He is amazing with heating and air conditioning and what he has done, so the students still feel they're doing hands-on, but it's distance learning. So I can't say enough about both of them as instructors. What else I want to say? 2 years with automotive. In 2 years, you can become ASE certified. Now, if you go to any place to get your car worked on, when you go in to buy a car, you're going to see ASE certification, which is really big. And some young ladies always feel like, well, gosh, Amistad, you got auto and you got HVAC, so probably construction, probably not. Oh, no. It may seem male dominant, but we have more and more females. We had a young lady that took the heating and air conditioning, and I said, from Palm Desert, matter of fact. And I asked her, I said, oh, why did you choose this? She said, oh, I'm going to open up a heating and air conditioning business, and I'm going to be selling them. And I know how lucrative that's going to be. So I'm very proud of the 2, and I'm looking forward to working with construction trades too when that comes a part of our career pathways. So thanks to all the CTE APs out there. They all do a great job, and I think we really, really help students, and that's why we're in business. Thank you, Mr. Beagle.
Absolutely, Sharon. Thank you so much. And APs, thank you. I have the best admin leadership team here I could possibly hope for. Really enjoy working with these folks. They're my friends. Okay, so you can see that there's a link there where it says Desert Sands Career and Technical Education Programs that'll take you to the website where you can get contact information and more information if you so desire. And Marie, if you go to the next slide, we provided the same links for both Coachella Valley. There's the link for Coachella. And do you want to click on that and take a quick looky?
Yeah, I'm just going to do this real briefly. For Coachella Valley Unified, it's pretty much the same deal. In fact, Coachella Valley High School has the 2 oldest academies in the entire valley. They started with health and hospitality way back in the early 90s. But anyway, this is what our program lineup looked like. So we also, everything in green is for CV High School. And we have agriculture, 2 pathways, same components built in, lots of work-based learning, student competitions, leadership through FFA. Health sciences and medical technology, we have 2 programs. One is focused more on patient care. One is pure mental and behavioral health. We also have our technology programs. We have Cisco networking. We have dual enrollment with College of the Desert. And what I forgot to mention too is all of our courses for CTE are A through G, meaning you don't have to pick now. You're either, a lot of times students thought, ooh, am I going to be an A through G kid and get to go to 4-year university, or am I not? Well, in CVUSD, you don't have to do that. In fact, most of our classes are taught by academic teachers who had enough industry experience and then also obtained their CTE designated subjects credential. I call those teachers my double agents because they could teach English and then they could also teach advanced concepts for the medical professions. The teacher I'm referring to here also teaches adjunct for College of the Desert. So he's actually a triple threat. He has 3 different credentials for teaching. Hospitality, that's probably our highest functioning academy that we have. These students go to 4 different 5-star properties and do all their job shadowing. We have a really good relationship in public safety with our Public Safety Academy. Our students do 15 weeks of on-site, what do they call? Work exploratory at the college. We have a film studio. We have a high functioning film where they go out and they work on actual productions locally here in the desert, including these. A lot of people will come in and use our film studio now because our film studio is actually got high-end equipment that some of our news stations don't even have anymore. And then we have our engineering design pathway. Again, another high rigor, high academic, but career related program. Over at Desert Mirage, we have our aviation, which is tied to the Jacqueline Cochran Airport here in Thermal. We have a sports medicine program. Again, another website development program. And then we have our arts, media, entertainment, and it's 3 different pathways. And most students will go through the entire sequence for all 3 pathways. They'll do dance, they'll do performance, and then they will also do film. We have our environmental resources, which is really honed in on saving our environment, alternative energy. And then this is our architectural design program. And then down at our smallest school, we have a very high functioning, high rigor AP computer science. That program down there is turning students into, they are making apps, they are developing websites, they are doing just incredible work down there. And that's just a little snapshot of what we have to offer at CV. And then over in, let's see, in Palm Springs Unified, there's nobody here representing Palm Springs today, but we have a link in the PowerPoint and you can explore their programs by clicking that link and you will see all the different programs that they have at all the different high schools.